Hello and welcome to your weekly yoga flow. I am excited to be here with you, and this week I thought that we'll dive into some forward bends, nice and easy forward bends, maybe some balancing seated, and have a good time with that, stretching out the whole back body and bringing the front side in to support us to expand into the back side. And of course also open hamstrings and the entire posterior chain of the body by plugging the front side in. So this is the third in our weekly yoga flow series of many more to come. So let's take a comfortable seat, and hands can be down, palms can face up or down, whichever you're comfortable with. I'm sitting on the pillow, and we'll start with just sitting and giving ourselves a couple of rounds of a few minutes of just dropping in, and from there also starting to take our breath a little bit deeper into Ujjayi Pranayama. We'll do about 7 rounds or so, and then we'll take a little pause, and then we'll come back to it again to just kind of anchor in everything into the midline. So let's just sit nice and comfortable and just letting our breath come and go as it likes. Just kind of starting by dropping into the layers, relaxing the toes, relaxing the fingers, relaxing the layers of the body. Certainly using the main muscles and structure to be able to sit upright. And then from there, we'll just start taking our breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe counting up to 5 and then exhaling out to 5. And we'll do it at our own pace. Inhaling. And exhaling. Emptying out the breath through the belly and inhaling. And inhaling. And exhaling. And inhaling. And inhaling. One more inhale. And then exhaling all the air out, all the way to the deepest part of the belly. And coming back to normal breathing. Your breathing, your breath that your body does automatically. And with the movement that's coming up, then we'll get even more even breathing. Let's take our palms together in front of the heart. And if you'd like to join me for an Om, we'll join our voices. Take a comfortable inhale, halfway compared to what we just did. And exhale, releasing the hands, open the eyes, and let's come to all fours. And maybe you'll have your blocks handy by for any sort of poses where we feel like the arms needs a little extra length, or maybe you have a strap next by for leg stretches later on. Certainly doesn't need any of it, but if you have them and you want to use them, bring them out. If you have some music that you like to pop on, then turn some favorite music tunes on. Let's spread the fingers, wrist squeezes aligned with the yoga mat, tuck the toes, hips and knees are stacked, and then from there, bring the belly button all the way in and get a nice big wide spine. Exhaling all the air and inhaling, hooking the upper arm bones in and extending out through the spine, and exhale, press the hands, the knees, the toes, expand the back body, and exhale and inhale, hollow the upper arm bones, extend out through the spine, through the top of the head. Exhale one more, taking your spine all the way up to the sky, and exhale from here. Come with your toes flat, bring your big toes together. We're still holding that belly button in, and coming to child's pose, a nice active child's pose. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones, and stretch into the whole back side of the body. And we are pressing the palms down to lift the upper arm bones, to get active into a nice expansive back body, and to get active into holding the belly button in. A few more breaths right here. And gently make your way up to all fours. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stretching your right heel, your left heel. Just pedal about, taking it a little bit by bit into ankles, into calves. Maybe it goes all the way up towards the lower back area. Let's come up onto the toes, bend the knees. We're going to drop the heels to the right side and stretch into the left side body. The feet, the toes are towards the left side, heels to the right side. Coming in towards the entire left side of the body, and gently coming up and over to the second side. Heels to the left, toes to the right, stretching to the right side of the waist, the whole crescent body on that right side. A few more breaths right here. And then gently come to the center, heels down. Take a walk with your feet to the hands, and come to ragdoll, forward fold, with your hands either on blocks or hands on each side of the elbow, or just opposite hand, opposite elbow, and coming into a couple of yes, back and forth. Relax your neck, relax the shoulders, a couple of no's. And slowly take the hands to the hips, elbows to sky, press the feet, inhale, come all the way to standing, and release the hands, bend into your knees, arms forward and up, palms together, exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana, forward fold, and inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, looking up between the eyebrows, coming into a nice big spinal wave, and then exhale, place the hands, step back to plank pose, shoulders and wrists are stacked, and we'll stay here today and dip our knees almost to the mat and activate in towards the core, and then push out through the mounds of the big toes and knees almost to the mat, and push out through the mounds of the big toes and inner heels and knees almost to the mat, and bring it back out. And there's no hurry. We can just take it nice and easy and really feel the feels into the lower belly, middle and upper, all the three different layers of the breath where we went through. We'll do it again. This should also make the breath kind of pump maybe a little deeper and a little bit more through the body. We'll do another 3 here. Almost tip the knees to the floor, and then extend the heels back and knees to the floor. Just kind of building our plank, building our front support for forward fold. Exhale, and slowly from there, we're going to take the knees all the way to the floor. Come to the belly, widen the hands, elbows to the sky, toes to the back, press the 5 toes on each foot down evenly, so you spread your toes, bring your shoulders back, take your ears back, and exhale, bring it back down, hands by shoulders, child's pose, active child's pose, belly button in, extend your arms, and gently make your way up to tabletop, to down dog please. Adho, Mukha, Svanasana. Come up onto your toes, bend your knees, take a step or a hop over to the hands. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold. Give yourself a few breaths right here. And hands to hips, elbows to sky, root your feet, come to standing, release the hands, and inhale, take your arms all the way up, palms together, nice and tall. Exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, place your hands, step to plank pose, please. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Take your knees down to the floor. Kickstand your right foot back and your left leg comes out. Come into side plank. Take the left arm up and over, side body stretch. Take the gaze up and underneath the upper arm. And exhale, hands down. And then we'll switch to the second side. Kickstand your left toes out, right leg out. Take your right arm all the way up. And take your arm up and over, side body. Really getting into the whole crescent body to find the flexibility and mobility for forward folds. Exhale, release, hands to the floor. And then from here, we'll step it back to our plank pose. And either we come to the exact same side plank with support with your right knee down, or we come over and stack the feet one in front of the other, just like in that down dog where we crescent to the side. Left arm up, take your left arm up and over, side support. One more breath, and then exhale, take your left hand down, switch heels to the left, toes to the right, right arm up to the sky. Squeeze the skin to the muscle, muscle to bone. Extend your right arm up and over. Take the gaze underneath your upper arm. One more breath, and exhale, bring it back down. Come up on your toes, bring your knees down, come all the way to the belly. Widen your hands, inhale into cobra, and exhale, bring it back down. Hands by shoulders, child's pose. From your belly button, push back. Press the palms, expand the back body. Like somebody's gently pulling your hips back and your hands are kind of pulling you forward, so it's super active. One more breath right here, and gently make your way up to all fours. Tuck the toes, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come up on your toes, bend your knees. Take your other leg that you didn't step forward with last time and step back forward. Come all the way over, inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold, Uttanasana, forward fold. Root the feet, four corners of the feet. Have a good time finding the mound of the big toe, the inner heel, mound of the pinky toe, and the outer heel. Expand the back body. We'll take one more breath right here. And then hands to hips, elbows to sky. Root your feet, come to standing, and release the hands. We'll do one more. Bring the arms up to the sky. We'll do many more, but do one more, arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Our body's just kind of getting warmed up. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, place the hands, step to plank pose. Give yourself a few breaths right here into your plank pose. And just holding plank full, nice front support, arching the belly button in, tailbone down towards the heels, holding our plank. And then exhale, take your knees down and come to tabletop. Take your right arm out, tuck your right toes, take your left leg out, and give yourself a nice big elongation. And then we're going to pump the breath a little bit different. Take the elbow to the knee and exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. One more time and exhale. And inhale and extend it all the way out. Take your right hand to your left foot and we'll take a little tiger tail quad stretch right here. See how that feels. And exhale, release arm and leg, and then hands to the floor. Set your knees, second side, right leg out, left arm out, tuck your left toes under. Exhale, knee and elbow. Inhale, extend out, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale. Two more here. Exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale. Elongate. Take your hand to your foot and stretch your quad, shoulder. Give yourself a little hand to foot pose. And exhale, release arm and leg out. Hands down, knees down. Tuck the toes, down dog. Adho Mukha, Svanasana. Come to plank, bring your knees down. Come all the way down. Inhale to cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale, bring it back down. Push back, child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Make your way up to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha, Svanasana. Press the palms. Lift the upper arm bones. Before we make our way forward, I want you to step your feet in so your feet are flat onto the mat and it's a little bit shorter down dog. Come up onto your fingertips. Take your right hand outside your left shin ankle and stretch into your right lower, middle, upper back. Shoulder blade stretch. Sink your heels down and push your left fingers away and down and create more space. And then slowly switch to the second side. Right fingers down, left hand outside shin ankle. Expand into the back body. Give yourself a couple of nice deep breaths right here. And exhale. Make your way back to your comfortable elongated down dog. Come up onto your toes, bend your knees. Here you can either step or hop over to your hands. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Hands can be on or off the floor, on or off blocks. Top of the head towards the floor. Hands to hips, elbows to sky, root your feet. Come all the way up to standing and release your hands. From here, hands to hips, bend your knees. Step 1 foot wide apart so that we're facing each other. Having a good time right here. Inhale, take your arms up, toes slightly tucked in and heels slightly out for Prasarta Padhanasana. We're going to go through all 4 of them. So take your hands to the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. And exhale, hinge and fold forward. Taking the heel of the hands, align with the heel of the feet. And from here, we can take a block. Grab your block if you have it nearby, and you can take either your hands on each block for support for your forward bend, or take the top of the head towards the block. Now, by having something for the top of the head, just to gently press into, it feels calming for the whole nervous system. It also feels soothing for the back body to have something to anchor into. So feet, top of the head, bring your shoulders up and away from your ears. Press the feet down and at the same time hug the midline, and at the same time bring the belly button in, and at the same time lift your sacrum a little higher than your lower back. So we might need to bend the knees here, getting it nice and comfortable so that our hamstrings feels like they have a good place to be right at the back of our legs. 1 more breath, and then extend the arms, hands to hips, root your feet, come to standing, and you can leave your hands onto the hips and lift up and back. We'll do Prasarta Padhanasana B by hinging and folding forward and taking the hips toward the back gently with the hands, shoulders to the back, top of the head either to the block or to the floor. I'm using a block today, feels good. Bring your elbows to the back, like bring your wings back, and create space for your shoulders and your ears. Now, this might be a little bit more in for your hamstrings because you're gently pulling your hips
to the back. You can kind of turn it on or turn it off in the hamstrings by monitoring to see how your hands are doing. So they're not just hanging out. They could, but you can also just give them a like gently push to the back on rooting the femurs back. One more breath here, and then we're going to root the feet, come halfway up, take a pause, and then come all the way up. Now we'll take the arms out, give them some nice breath into the shoulders, and then hands behind, interlace, roll the shoulders up and back, and come to Prasarta Padhanasana C, which is hinging forward and folding with our hands either onto the sacrum or onto the hips, or we'll take the head back onto a block for security, or maybe you have your head on the floor, and then from there maybe we'll extend the arms up to the sky. Maybe you switch your head so that you're slightly on the back of your head, and open up into the shoulders. Some of us are going to keep the hands on the sacrum. Some of us are going to take the hands up towards the sky. I like to just kind of move in towards that lumbar that is kind of like lead on me every now and then. So it feels good to lengthen from the hips to the shoulders. One more breath here. And then gently take your hands back down to the sacrum and come and hinge to 90 degrees. Use the power of your legs and come all the way up. Release the hands back down to the hips, just kind of letting the shoulders relax and the inner shoulder. And then we're just going to hinge and fold. And from here, we're going to take the hands, the peace fingers around the big toes and elongate the spine, and then taking the elbows to the side and top of the head to either the floor or the block. And you're pulling up on your big toes and you're pressing down on your big toes all at the same time. Few breaths right here. Giving yourself some good space into the back of the body by hugging in the front side, and then gently extend the arms and take your block to the side and make your way to downward facing dog. Maybe you'll take a nice wide down dog to start and move about a little bit into the hips, into your ankles, and then find your Adho, Mukha, Svanasana. And with that name, it's like, okay, we're doing down dog now. Adho, Mukha, let's do it. Pulling into the belly button and extending out from the bottom of the heart, out the arms and the palms and the fingers, from the belly button, out the legs, the corner of the feet. One more breath here. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands. Take your step, take your hop over to the hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Press the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Palms together, hands to the heart, and hands all the way down. We're going to move on with some crescent stretches. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Place your hands, step to plank. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. Pull the belly button in. Bring your knees down and come all the way down. Inhale to cobra. Extend your legs behind you. Shoulder blades back. Ears back. Exhale, release. Bring it back down. Child's pose. Big toes together. Knees apart. Gently make your way up to your downward facing dog, please. And step your right foot between your hands. Take your left knee down and inhale, arms up to the sky. And either stay right here for your hip flexor stretch, for organizing your hips, or gently come slightly forward. Few breaths right here. We'll take the hands and interlace the fingers. Take the hands behind the head. Take your elbows forward and up. And get into that upper back, where we will also fold more forward too. We'll open it into a nice back bend. One breath here. And then exhale, come up upright. Arms up, take your hands to the sides of your right foot. Extend to reverse lunge. Take your hands forward. Hinge and fold. Pull the belly button in. Hamstrings, lower, middle, upper back. And gently make your way to the front. Leave your left hand on the floor. Come to crescent twist. Sweep your right arm up. Take a nice little twisty turny in between all the forward and back bends. Take your arm up, take your gaze up, shoulder blades down on your back. And exhale, hands down on each side of your right foot. Step it back, down dog. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Step your left foot between your hands, take your right knee down. Come to Anjiasana, quad hip flexor stretch. Either the hip and the knee can be stacked, or you come forward, see what works for you. Interlace your hands and hands behind your neck, behind your skull, behind your head. Take your arms, elbows up to the sky and rest your head into your head securely. Hands into the back of the head into the hands. Give yourself a few breaths right here. And then inhale, bring it all the way up. Hands to each side of the foot. Extend to reverse lunge. Hinge and fold. Give yourself a couple of breaths right here. Into that left hamstring group. Into the lower middle back. And gently make your way forward. Leave your right hand. Sweep the left arm up. Big wide crescent twist. Few breaths right here. And exhale. Bring it all the way back down. Hands to the floor. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Make your way over to plank. Lower all the way. Inhale to your cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale. Bring it back down. Push back, child's pose, big toes together, knees apart. Press your palms, lift your upper arm bones. Pull the belly button in. And gently come all the way up. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Step your feet halfway in and your hands halfway in and come into the center of the mat. From here, let's take the hands to the hips. We'll start right here. Hands to hips, elbows to sky, root your feet and come to standing. And from here, we're just going to stand onto our, let's stand onto our left foot and bring the right knee in. And we'll see how that feels. Should feel pretty good. And then extend your right leg out, spread your toes, hands around your hamstrings. And exhale, bring it back in and take your right foot down. Find your four corners, switch sides, left knee in. Root your right leg down strongly and left leg out, hands around the hamstrings. Spread your toes nice and wide. And exhale, bring your leg back in and send it back down. So there's got to be a lot of determination to stand on that one leg and really open up into the four corners of the feet. Take your feet hip widths apart. Inhale, arms up. The same thing is coming up, but in a different form. Exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. And we'll just anchor into that ujjayi breaths that we had in the beginning. Take your peace fingers around your big toes and inhale, long spine, and then exhale, fold. And then from here, take your left hand to your hip and you can bend into your left knee slightly and take the weight over to your left leg, and then we're going to take that right leg up and we're holding on to the big toe. And we're just having a nice good time right here. Anchoring, pulling the belly button in. We'll just bring in all the planks we did and just bring in that front support to hold us right here. And anchoring in through the standing leg, through the outstretched leg. One more breath and then exhale. Bring it back down. And switching sides. Taking your right hand to your right hip. Shifting your weight over to your right leg slightly. Micro bending in towards the knee. And from here, we're going to take that left leg up and extend it to the front. Uttanasana Padhanasana. We're just taking it kind of in a fun form
from forward fold and lifting up. Spread your toes, anchor in to both feet, standing and outstretched. Belly button in, ribs in. Exhale, release, take it back down. Nice. And from here, take the peace fingers around the big toes. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold, elbows out to the side. And then inhale, long spine. Take the palms underneath the feet, and we'll come to Hasta Padhanasana, hand and foot pose. So we're spreading our fingers and our toes, and they're both onto that fleshy, meaty part, almost the wrists. Top of the head to the floor, elbows out to the side. And exhale, release hands to the mat, step back, down dog, please. Adho, Mukha, Svanasana. And from here, we're gonna come up onto the toes and bend the knees. And let's take a step over to the hands. If you have your space, you can certainly jump through. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees and come all the way down to a seat. And take your hands on each side of your thighs, of your IT band, and we're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae and take our arms up and over and bring the knees into the chest and then hug your legs in towards the chest. Just a nice hugging in, upward facing child's pose, and then we'll come to happy baby pose before we make our way into some of our seated poses. Anchoring the sacrum down, and the lower back is slightly lifting. So basically the sacrum is kind of raised more than the lower back, because the sacrum is down onto the mat and the lower back is slightly lifted, and that really engages the whole spine. And then gently bring the knees in, hands underneath. Let's roll it all the way up and stretch your legs forward. Take your right leg in and your left leg is forward. So we are in a Janu Shirshasana, half butterfly, half outstretched leg. Take your arms up to the sky and exhale, hinge and fold, hands around the mat or hands around your foot, or maybe this is where you have brought in your strap. Hinge and fold. We'll stay for 3 more breaths here. Long spine, head towards knee, Janu, knee, Shirsha is head, Janu Shirshasana, elbows out to the side. Flexing your left foot. 1 more breath. And then gently take it all the way up and switch sides. Take your right leg out and your left foot in and come to head to knee pose on your second side. Arms up, seat down, bring the belly button in, hinge and fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Expand the back body. The head, you can certainly be upright. We can be anywhere where we are comfortable here. But I assume that you are on this class because you're like, yeah, forward bend sounds like a good idea today. So here we are, folding forward. Whether we're sitting upright, folding forward, or if we are halfway at an angle, or if our head goes down to the knee, depends on where our practice are at today. It shifts every day. 1 more breath here. And then gently bring yourself all the way up. And we're gonna stretch the legs out. Bend into the knees, ankles, plank pose. And then come all the way down and inhale to our cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. Pull the spine forward and up. Exhale, bring it back down. Push back, child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Downward facing dog. Adho, Mukha, Svanasana. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, feet to hands. Inhale, long spine, exhale, fold, and then we'll bend and come down to our seat again. Hands around your legs and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Take our knees into the chest
and hugging in here. Sacrum is down. From here, lift your legs up towards the sky, and we'll stay right here and just enjoy the legs up. And this is perfect right here. We're actually gonna add on some leg drops and then both legs, and then we're gonna come back up to seated and move our way into some plow pose and then to some boat pose, all those forward bends, and end with a nice yummy Upavishta Konasana. So palms are down. You can point, you can flex your toes here, whichever feels comfortable. You might have your hands underneath your sacrum. We're gonna drop the right leg down and then the left leg down. So there's a start and a stop, and there's a start and a stop. And the lower back stays in the mat for this one to be super nice and anchored in. Front support, back support, really, we can just call it abs. We can call it for what it is. But I also would like for us to get these kind of leg movements kind of ingrained and like imprinted by holding the belly button in and dropping single legs. And we'll do another like 2 or so on each side. These ones will help to come into plow pose, and they will certainly also help to come into boat pose. Legs up, and then we're going to drop both legs and bring it back up. Hands can be underneath the sacrum or they can be next to the hips. So we're just going to drop the legs and bring them back up. So we're plugged in by the time we come to different forward bends. Bring forward and take it back up, and bring it forward and we'll take it back up, and again, and up. And we'll do one more here, and then we'll take it all the way up. Bend the knees and roll your way up. Cross at the ankles. Take downward facing dog, please. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones. Plugging in before forward bends is equally important as kind of lengthening. If we don't plug in first, then maybe we over lengthen. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, feet to hands. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold. And we're going to sit all the way down and roll back down again. Take it all the way down, bring the knees into the chest and take the legs up towards the sky. This time we'll take it up and over into a plow pose by pressing the head, shoulder blades underneath you and lifting up and over. Bringing your shoulder blades under you, palms can face up, and then we'll find that palms and interlace the hands. There's an opening behind your cervical spine, the neck area. Shoulder blades are down, the back of the head is down. Give ourselves a nice, big, yummy forward folding plow. And from here, I'm going to take the hands over to the side of the feet and come into our forward fold, upward facing bend. And then we're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Let go of the hands, legs straight up, bend the knees, roll it all the way up. Take your forearms onto the mat and extend your legs forward. Lift your heart and your chest and take a fish pose. Release your neck. Release your throat. And then gently bring it back up. And we're going to come to a seat and move into Paschimottanasana and move into our boat pose. So this time we're going to bend the knees and take the hands on each foot on the outside and just hug in right here. Yes, we're expanding the back body, and we're also really fully coming into our abdominals and holding them nice and strong and supporting in towards the lower back, middle and upper back. And then
Release that, and then take the knees in a little bit further. Take your peace fingers around your big toes and extend up. You can certainly have your hands around your knees, underneath the knees. You can also lay on your back and do this, and what we'll end up doing if we lay on your back and do it, you just simply take your legs up into the air if that feels better for you. If this feels good, do it. If this feels good with one leg up, then maybe second leg up. Upward facing forward bend, seated forward bend. Taking the gaze up over the toes. Enjoying sitting right here. Now we might, from here, let go of the hands and have our Navasana right here, holding front side, expanding back side, certainly using the quads, but there's a whole lot of abdominals. And just reaching the arms forward. Give ourselves a few more breaths right here. And then exhale, hands underneath the knees, bend the knees, cross at the ankles, step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones, come to plank pose, bring your knees down and come all the way down onto the belly, come onto your forearms, and then we'll come to forearms and take a forearm cobra, and then we're just going to kind of buffer all that strength that we just used by tucking the toes under and coming into a forearm plank, pulling the belly button in. I'm not sure if this qualifies for a forward bend, but it certainly qualifies for hugging everything back into the midline. And it might feel a little bit easier after the forward bends. It might feel, oh, there's the front body. We just expanded the back body. So we'll just wrap whatever we have on the back side to the side of the body and then towards the front body. And hold our plank pose. A few more breaths right here. And then exhale, bring the knees down, big toes together, knees apart. Child's pose. This time, take a nice relaxing child's pose. Just letting everything relax. We'll take a few more breaths here. And gently making your way up, and we're going to come to a seated Upavishta Konasana where we have our feet wide, so straddle pose. You can bring a block in if you'd like, and we'll just have it close by for now and use it maybe in a little while. From here, take your heels down and toes up, and spread your toes, active legs. Maybe you'll take your inner thighs wide back and apart, and really just sitting onto those hamstring layers, onto the sit bones. Let's take the block and have it for the left hand or forearm, and take the right arm up to the sky. You might be holding onto your foot. You do whatever feels good. We just kind of are toning it down. Take the top arm up and over. We're coming back to those side bends and making sure that we have everything nice and organized from the side body into the side of the spine. A few more breaths right here. And then gently take the right arm up, and then we're going to turn ourselves over the left leg, turn the belly, so a nice twist here for the organs, twisting it all the way over, and then we'll come and fold forward here. And extend the right leg far away, and maybe we'll have a block for the foot, or maybe we'll just have the foot there. Maybe we have the hands on the side, maybe the hands are on blocks. I'm going to take my hands around the block into the foot and anchor that left leg in, sinking down into the right side.
stretching the whole right side of the lower back, lumbar spine. Adductors are involved. I mean, really, the whole body should be involved. One more breath. And then gently release and take your arms all the way back up, and we'll switch to the second side. If you used a block, take it with you to the second side and put your right forearm onto the block, heels down, spread the toes, sit bones down, left arm up and over. Side angle in Upavishta Konasana. Enjoying a nice side angle into the whole left side of the waist. We'll stay a few more breaths right here until we feel like it's kind of saturated on that left side. And then gently take the arm all the way up and twist and turn, lift the side body long, and then maybe the block comes in front of your right foot, or maybe it stays far away from the foot. Maybe it's not even there. You choose. We are doing a nice twist for the organs, a twist for the spine, and maybe the hands around the block. Maybe you brought in a strap, and then we'll hinge and fold. Stretch the whole right side of the back of the leg. The entire lower back, the entire middle and upper. Pull the upper arm bones in. Head towards the top of the foot, top of the head to top of the foot. Side body long. Anchor the heels down. Spread your toes. Active. Persva Upavishta Konasana. One more breath right here. And gently bringing it all the way up, and take your block to the side, or keep the block forward for your head. We're going to come into forward fold. Forearms down, heels down, make a pillow out of your hands. Heels down, toes up, spread your toes, active legs. One more breath. And gently come to upright, hands behind your knees, and bring your legs together. Maybe shake them out a little bit. And then from here, cross at the ankles, and we'll make our way to our downward facing dog. Again, exhale, step it back, down dog. Heels down, hands down, really anchoring into your downward facing dog. We'll come onto hands and knees again, tabletop, just like in the beginning. Exhaling, spine up to the sky. Release the neck. Inhaling, bringing it back up, and exhaling, taking the spine up to the sky. And inhaling, extending, and exhaling, bringing it all the way up towards the sky. From here, take your right shoulder underneath your left arm and come to your threading the needle. So we have right arm underneath your left for twisty turny child's pose on the hatha version. Now we can stay here or take that left foot out to the side, so your right hand and your left leg meets. The left foot comes kind of in the same wavelength as your nose. And then from there, left arm up, and you might come over onto your right shoulder blade, and you can take your left hand behind you, finding your inner thigh for a twisty turny forward bend. Shoulder stretch, neck stretch. One more breath here. And then exhale, release. Left arm up, hand down to the floor, and make your way back up to all fours. And arch the spine up to the sky. Take your left arm underneath your right side of the head to the floor. Shoulder stretch. You can stay here, come onto the left shoulder blades. You can take your right leg out so it's alignment with the toes and the nose are on the same wavelength. Take your left hand outside of your right leg, right arm up to the sky, hand behind your thigh. Twist and turn, use your belly, pull it in. Few more breaths right here. And gently take the gaze forward and hands down. Support yourself. Downward facing dog. Last one of the whole class. So let's make it a nice, good, long down dog. Long as in hands and feet away from each other, finding the length into the muscles, ligaments and tendons, and opening the pathways to where it needs to be saturated into. We don't even have to know. But really everything, energy bodies, physical body, organs, all of it. One more breath. And then come up onto the toes, bend your knees, feet to hands, inhale, long spine. I'm hoping that that last jump forward felt a little easier with everything plugged in. Top of the head towards the floor, and then we're gonna just sit on down, take the block with us, roll down, come down however you like to come down, and take the block underneath your sacrum for a nice, comfortable, resting hip opening. Gentle hip opening. The block can certainly be on any level that floats your hips. I have mine on the lower for now, just to get that sacrum to anchor in and kind of see how that feels. You can have your hands to the side, and maybe this feels really good. Maybe it would feel good to take your legs forward, adjust so that your block is in a comfortable space. It's like on the sacrum and slightly onto the buttocks. It's not up in your kidney area. It's right there-ish. Yes. You can take your arms over your head and just get that nice full belly, hip, quad opening, stretching, elongation after folding forward, and really just focusing on holding everything into the midline. We'll get a nice counter stretch from all of that. So this can be passive, but it can also be active. Passive, I usually say for the yin yoga sessions, and keep it to active stretching during the yoga flow and sessions and other sessions as well that I have on this channel. For now, we'll just take another 3 breaths here. And exhale, take your hands down to the side, bend your knees in, take the block away, and slowly bring your seat down. Take your hands onto the tops of the femurs and gently press the femurs away. Rooting, anchoring, clearing lower, middle, upper backs, and then bring the feet all the way together. Take your left leg over your right, arms out to the side, and come into a supine twist. We'll take one more breath here. And then undoing the legs, and then taking the legs up, and feet together, right leg over the left, high up onto the quad, supine twist. In the Mukha version, or knee over knee, shoelace pose twist. Give yourself another 2 breaths here. and gently undo the legs and come back to upright with our feet flat, with our knees into the chest. I'm just going to hug it all the way in. Hand around your wrist. Stretch out the whole spine. Ground the femurs in. We'll give ourselves a nice big upward facing child's pose. Plugging it in. You might even squeeze your legs in to ground femurs, to root your grounding cords, and to release backs. And then from here, hands underneath the knees, and we're going to come up into a comfortable seat. Maybe you take a pillow, maybe you take a block. And then, of course, I always highly recommend to take some time after class and lay into resting pose, Shavasana. We're going to take the palms facing down, palms facing up. Just finding our center, finding our new center after our practice together. And I would like for us to join our voices and do our closing chant, Lokah, Samastah, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The text is below. It is an offering of peace to all beings everywhere, and peace for our heart, peace for our mind, peace for our soul. So let's take the palms together in front of the heart. We'll start with one Om. Take a comfortable inhale. Lokah, Samastah, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We offer out any extra energy we have to be recycled into some place good where it's needed. Let's take the hands to the knees, and I highly suggest to even lay down and practice your 7 Ujjayi breaths again. Through the nose, inhale 5 counts. Through the nose, exhale for 5 counts. Or maybe you feel more comfortable sitting like this. And I look forward to seeing you in the next class, which is coming up here somewhere. Maybe it's over here. And you can find all my videos in the library. You can also find it under playlists where I've organized them into what makes sense to do in order. Have a great day and drink some extra water, and let's take a Shavasana together and breathe Ujjayi breaths through our nose and relax. Making ourselves comfortable, pressing the feet, adjusting so the sacrum is down, so the shoulder blades are down. And then there's a nice opening for the back of the head. There's a nice opening for the lower back. And then we'll just move our way into our 7 breaths.
and slowly returning to normal breathing and staying as long as you like, as long as your body requires the rest. Integrate all the poses. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next class. Namaste.